Hi, I'm Tom Sommers with the Diner Realty. Today I'd like to talk about the difference between foreclosures and HUD-owned homes. There's a lot of confusion in the current marketplace, so I thought I would clear it up by doing a short video for you. First off, if you ever hear the terms bank-owned, lender-owned, REO property, company-owned, and corporate-owned, those are all foreclosures, but they're usually owned by an independent banking institution. A HUD home is also a foreclosure, but it's owned by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, which is the government. So all of these properties, someone lived in it at one point, didn't make their payments, were foreclosed on, and now they've gone back to the rightful owners or the banks. So you approach them the same way, but there's going to be some different paperwork. So let's start with the HUD. Typically, HUD-owned homes will not allow any review of an offer for the first 7 to 10 days, depending on the property. So let's say you go take a look at the house on the very first day, you fall in love with it, and you want to write an offer. You have every right to do so and have it submitted, but it's not going to make them move any faster. They're still not going to review it until the 7-day mark or the 10-day mark, and typically they'll let the agents know what that time frame is because they want to feel like they're being fair by giving everyone a chance to get to the house, take a look at it, and submit an offer if they'd like to try to buy the house. With the foreclosures, which are the bank-owned homes, it's the same type of thing. Some of them will hold back from 7 to 10 days. Most of them will not allow any offers from investors for the first 15 days, and that's the same with HUD homes as well. But with the regular foreclosures, sometimes depending on who the asset manager is, they may look at the very first offer that comes in, or some of them might want to pile up 10 on their desk before they consider looking at any of them. So from a consistency standpoint, the HUD is much more consistent because they seem to treat every single property exactly the same way, whereas with the other types of foreclosures, it's a crapshoot. It just depends on who the bank is and who the asset manager is. When it comes to submitting an offer, when you submit an offer to HUD, the buyer's agent that you're working with will upload specific forms. Even though you'd fill out the entire purchase agreement, HUD does not want all of that information at this point. When you submit, they want you to verify information, but they're asking that buyer's agent to provide 3 big things. First off is the purchase agreement, but not the whole thing, just the first 7 pages of the purchase agreement. Then they have a bank-owned addendum or a Fannie Mae addendum that they're going to have you also fill out as part of your purchase agreement. They'll want that uploaded. And then the third piece is an owner-occupant certificate because they want to sell these properties to people who are going to live in them. Once we get past the 15-day mark or sometimes the 30-day mark, then they'll open the bids up to investors and other types of buyers that are not going to be living in the property. So after your offer has been uploaded, then it's a waiting game. So there's no reason to rush to get the offer in. And typically you'll never know how many other offers you're up against. So you want to write your best offer first. If you want some information about how to win in multiple offer situations, I just did a video on that and it's up on my YouTube page, Realtorology. So you can check that out. With the bank-owned homes, time is of the essence. So if it's not a HUD-owned home, then they're going to want the entire purchase agreement right off the bat. Some of them will hold it back like I mentioned, but others may look at the very first offer that comes in. But just so you know, everything in all of those categories are all considered foreclosures. It's just the approach and how you submit your offer and the process you go through to get the property changes slightly. Now there's a lot more varying degrees with the different types of foreclosures depending on the banks, but that's going to be on a case-by-case basis, and they're too broad to go through in a video. So just remember, whether it's a HUD home or it's a foreclosure or a bank-owned, lender-owned, they're all foreclosures. It's just a matter of who owns that particular property. I hope this was helpful and answered some questions for you. Please look online on my YouTube video at Realtorology, and you have lots of other ones to choose from and watch that will help you just as much. Thanks so much for taking the time and have a great day.